Hello! This video is specifically about how I made this art for this pngtuber design for funsies, and it has mouse tracking and stuff like that. Is very cool. If you just wanted to see the end result, then this is what it looks like. If you wanted to learn more software and technical aspects of how to make a pngtuber and you already have a design and you don't really need to watch anything about the art aspect, the videos that I got this information from are the how to make a pngtuber video by Blue Biscuits, as well as the pngtube remix tutorial by Nabonomic description. But if you want to stick around and watch how I came up with this concept for this pngtuber and how I then made the art in Clip Studio Paint, stick around. So this is what I have for my mood board concept for my pngtuber. I had a few different things I wanted to do. I wanted bright colors. I really liked this blue. Had the idea for a blue jay, specifically like feathers for hair, as well as this cybernetic like Y2K futurism. Think Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, Totally Spies, Techna from Winx Club, that kind of thing, combined with sort of bold, bright colors and that blocky graphic design that I think is really cool. So going into the design, I actually made a lot of it on stream. I stream very sporadically. Life gets busy, but I did stream a lot of this process and it was a pretty fun time. And then I use the pngtuber for when I'm streaming, obviously. I actually made this a few months ago, and I just never got around to making an actual YouTube video for it. But, so here's me sketching out some designs, very inspired by the fashion of shows like Totally Spies, Winx Club, and Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, and having that sort of techwear vibe, but with more like bright colors than you would see in life. Usually when I see people wear techwear, it's usually like in like all white or all black with maybe some pops of color. But anyway, and then I went just sort of right into the bust. I knew I didn't want to do a full body because it wouldn't really be used. And I go back and forth a lot on the particular design of the face and specifically the eyes. I think I changed them like 5 times. But the hair, surprisingly, since it's feathers and I don't really draw them too much. Oh, and I took a break, and then here's me coming back to it a few days later, and then warming up, and then coming back to it. But yeah, the feathers were surprisingly super quick and like easy for me. Like they looked nice right away. But the face as well as the outfit, I went back and forth a lot more on. The tablet, I wanted to make it look like the pngtuber was drawing while I was drawing when I was streaming. So I was going back and forth on how I wanted the hands to be placed and how I wanted the sort of short key buttons to be placed as well, whether I wanted it on the side of the tablet upright, which is what I ended up doing, or whether I wanted sort of like a mouse and keyboard situation. I just ended up sort of with a floating sci-fi-y tablet, because one, it was easier than also drawing a keyboard and mouse, but also it seemed more sci-fi-y and streamlined. I also didn't want anything like super sleek when it came to the sci-fi stuff. I wanted more of a Star Wars than a Star Trek, if that makes sense. Obviously, because of the Y2K influences that I was doing as well. I wanted it to be cutesy with like the little almost like phone charm that had the bluebird as well as the stickers on it. The stickers are of my little icon that I use for social media, that peanut butter raisin bread, as well as the flower from my comic Eternus, which is Eternus, that like huge space station where the comic takes place, is sort of in the shape of a flower. Anyway, and then I decided to add a little like biometric like almost headphone earpiece as well, and then I added my social media icon as well as a little barrette in my like feather hair. And then here's when I started to separate out the layers now that I have sort of the basic sketch drawing. Then I did the open eyes and closed eyes, open mouth and closed mouth. The PNG remix tutorial, one of them that I saw had multiple different mouths for when someone was talking, so like sort of the different mouth shapes. If you know animation, like the different mouth shapes that a mouth makes when it's talking, I think they ended up doing like 4 or 5 different ones, but I just decided to do the basic open and close because I just wanted to get it done, and I didn't want to make it too complicated for myself, which is surprising because I usually do that. But yeah, I just sort of had the meditative process of doing the line art now and making the feathers. The feathers, surprisingly, were the easiest part once I got down into them. But yeah, later on, when I get into separating the layers and stuff like that, it wasn't super hard skill-wise. It was just like technical stuff that I needed to research and sort of remember how to do. And then, you know, I would do it a little bit wrong and then I would have to go back and fix it and that kind of thing. But I really tried to make it as concise and detailed as possible before I transferred the whole thing over into pngtuber remix. Okay, so in a part like this, I'm sure you can see that I sort of separate the torso from the like arms and head, and I do draw the part under it so that when the arms and the pngtuber move, there won't be any weird gaps or anything like that. Like, I'll draw the feathers on a separate layer than the torso and draw the sort of shoulder and clavicle that's under the feathers so that when they move, you don't see a like weird gap or transparency when I do that. I end up drawing the right hand as well so that when it moves and floats over the tablet, you're able to see that as well as the elbow. When I get into pngtuber remix, unfortunately I don't have any footage of me sort of figuring out the layer situation there, but you can sort of see what I'm talking about as I'm building the layers here. I have those main feathers that sort of float and bounce, or they're going to float and bounce separate to the head and the rest of the feathers. And then the other feathers in the head will sort of bounce at their own rate. And the arms will hinge at the shoulders and sort of move idly when I'm not talking. And yeah, it sounds kind of complicated, but once you get into the swing of things and have a few different tutorials to help you here and there, you sort of get the hang of it. You can see sort of where I have shadows at the sort of shoulder joints where they'll be exposed when the arm is moving, as well as drawing shadows and stuff on the arm and the torso where those shadows will be seen when that hinge movement happens. And I also make the biometrics, like the cyber headset that I have on, I make that in its own layer and removable, and I make sure to draw the feathers as well as my ear that's under it. So I can toggle that on and off in pngtuber remix if I wanted to, as well as making sure that things like the pupils are on their own layer for the purpose of mouse tracking. And then you can see that I also have a little bit of that skin color and eyeshadow on the top and bottom of the eyes, so that when the pupil moves, you don't see it peek up above or under my eye when it's moving from the mouse tracking. But yeah, other than that, the design is relatively straightforward, and from that I just have pretty simple flat color rendering because I really wanted the line art as well as the simple movements to sort of shine through. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked this video, and then I do stream sometimes sporadically. And so if you want to see me watch this in real time, those VODs are on YouTube, as well as hopefully I will be streaming soon-ish when this video comes out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope that maybe this design inspires you to make a cool character design. Yeah. Go draw something cool. Okay, goodbye.